In every single moment, there are two wolves in your brain. One knows that if you chase resistance, if you chase that healthy risk, if you go first, you can get your dream group of friends. You can ask out your crush. You can become your authentic self, which will effortlessly attract people who respect you and align with you. But this other wolf is so scared and it just wants to keep you safe. This wolf listened to what society tried to condition onto you, which are those feelings of embarrassment, of awkwardness, of feeling like you don't belong or you're not good enough. Now, which wolf guides you and guides the trajectory of your life? It is the one that you listen to. It is the one that you feed. Now, how do we feed each wolf? You feed the wolf that can give you your dream life by chasing that resistance. You feed it by not hating the wolf that is scared, by allowing this wolf to heal and to fully understand why it feels the way that it does, by connecting with it and nourishing it and asking it what it truly needs from you. I remember I used to get so frustrated as to why was I awkward? Why did I filter myself in social situations? Why did I always find myself in friend groups that I wasn't aligned with? And getting into that cycle of self-deprecation, it's your fault, why are you this way, just makes the situation worse because you're giving this wolf more reasons to be scared. But this wolf, on the other hand, knows that you are whole, that you are perfect, that embarrassment is just a learned societal response, and that you can attract your dream life and people who are really aligned with you. Okay, my love, today we're going to talk about how to get to the root of social anxiety, how to really feed this wolf, and how to get out of the cage of filtering yourself, of embarrassment, of not knowing how to approach people, of feeling awkward, of that discomfort that you might feel in some social situations, even when you really want to get out of your shell and you want to stop holding yourself back. Because listen to me, when I was going through traumatic experiences at home, when I had a very hectic home life, I did not speak. I'm not exaggerating. I remember people used to make fun of me because they thought that I was mute. They literally did not hear me talk. Even in group situations or group projects, I would not say a word. And yes, my body was in fight or flight. And I had this crazy mindset that anything I said was a burden, that I needed to keep myself small, that I couldn't have anyone judge me because I was already way too judgmental of myself. Things are very different now. It is very easy for me now to show up authentically, to wear the crazy outfit, to organize parties, to command a room's attention. And yes, do I still feel that resistance? Yes. Does it still terrify me? It absolutely does. Does being perceived in person and online still scare me? Yes, I'm human. But I have just learned to feed this wolf and allow it to lead and heal this wolf and give it exactly what it needs. That rhymed. And so, my love, I'm going to show you exactly how to do the same. Number one, the first thing that you need to understand is the less scary you allow your brain to perceive the worst case scenario, the more powerful you become. For example, recently I was at the gym and I saw a girl that I knew and I didn't see she had AirPods in. And so I kind of projected pretty far across this gym thinking that she would hear me, but she didn't. And so it was kind of embarrassing because people were looking over. The people next to me were looking over and I was like, oh shoot, that's kind of embarrassing. But then I realized, wait, does it have to be? The less scary that you see, people perceiving you and people maybe judging you, the more powerful you become because that situation loses its emotional potency. It no longer can affect you in the way that you see yourself and your self-concept. However, to do this, we need to get to the root of this fear and the root of your social anxiety. So, think of one of the most embarrassing things that has ever happened to you. Okay, go back. Allow yourself to go back Allow yourself to go to one of the situations in your lifetime, maybe in your childhood, that has birthed your scared wolf. Personally, one of the first examples that came to my mind was when I was very young and I was very quiet, I was very introverted. I was at school and a big chunk of the students in my grade were in this testing center because we were going to take a statewide standardized test. I remember I walked in late because my dad was receiving chemotherapy and I was showing up late because we were driving him to the hospital. So I already had so much on my mind. So as I sit down and the proctor calls out my name and he checks me off for attendance, one super popular girl in our grade turns around to me. Mind you, this is a classroom full of like 50 or 60 other children. And so this girl turns around to me and says very loud, she's like, "You're the other Emma?" And everyone in the classroom turns and stares at me. And her best friend, who was a much more popular Emma, they both start laughing. And so I remember in that moment being like, what the heck? I didn't bother anyone. I was just existing. And me existing was not okay. And so that taught me in that moment that I wasn't safe, that I needed to hide even more, or else I would not be accepted. So take your moment and take the core belief that is driving that fear, that was driving that emotion. For me, it was that I didn't belong. For me, it was that I was othered, literally by being the other Emma. And it taught me that since I did not belong, I was not safe just by existing. And now that is not the worst story that I could tell. There are definitely spectrums of how traumatic a story is. But I remember in that moment thinking that, oh, even if I'm quiet and I don't bother anyone, I am still under attack. So have your story and peel back the layers of what is the core belief that is driving that emotion that you are experiencing. And that is what we are going to work on, because that is what feeds this wolf over here. That is what feeds your scared wolf. And by continuing to act under that belief, that is what drives you to filter yourself. That is what drives you to perform for others or people please or act in a way that isn't fully aligned with you, which keeps experiences and people that aren't fully aligned with you in your life. And only by healing that belief and letting it go and realizing that it's not you, you can feed this other wolf over here. So now that you have your moment and you've peeled back the layers to find the core belief that is driving that emotion, that is driving that fear, the only way to really move through fear, to not distract yourself from it, to not pretend like it doesn't exist, is by really looking into it. If a wounded, scared little puppy or cat shows up on your doorstep, you intuitively know how to treat it with care. You know that you would crouch down, you would lower your voice, you would allow it to come to you. And you build a real relationship with yourself and you become your own best friend by approaching yourself and your wounds in the same way. So, you have your core belief. You have peeled back the layers. Ask yourself what it is that you really needed in that moment. Was it safety? For me, that's what it was. It was a feeling of belonging. It was a feeling of being supported, being heard, being there for. Because in that moment, even my own friends, who I thought were my best friends, pretended like they didn't know me. So in that moment, I needed that care. I needed that safe space, and I didn't have it. So how can you now, moving forward, give that to yourself? Because that is what is going to give this wolf the support it needs so that this one can lead and take over and bring you all of the experiences that you deserve. So whatever it is that you needed in that moment, ask yourself, how can I give this to myself? Because, the universe gives you exactly what you need. I personally think manifestation is instant. But here's the caveat. It is only instant if you are coming from a place of peace. if you are coming from that place of trust and security as if you already have it, the universe will always bring you exactly what it is you want when you operate from that place of peace. The friends that I attracted into my life this past 6 months to a year, people that I really looked up to for a really long time that I thought were way too cool for me, I came from a place of no longer putting them on a pedestal. I came from a place of allowing myself to exist in peace, exist in a loving place where I could provide that for myself and for other people. And from that place, you attract your desires effortlessly. My partner right now, I had been searching and in the dating world for years. And as soon as I said, you know what? I'm no longer gonna chase. I'm gonna focus on myself and my energy and focus on my research. That is immediately when he came in. It was instant. It was literally like a few weeks later. So give yourself what you needed in that moment. Identify what it is and get to know yourself. Ask yourself questions. Say, in that moment, what did I need? How could I have given it to myself? How can I every day show up for myself and provide those needs for me? What would it look like? Again, the universe always gives you exactly what you want when you are coming from that place and operating from that place of peace. It will never get you what you want when you are coming from desperation. And a lot of people try to manifest or try to ask or demand things from that place of desperation. And the reason why manifestations don't come in during that state is because that would only lead you down to more desperation and more fear. So allow yourself to exist in that state now. Give yourself the things that would heal that wound now. Step 3. Now that you have started to build this foundation for yourself, start to play with that healthy resistance, with that healthy risk. Allow yourself to get out of your comfort zone. If something socially scares you, like if it's going to a party, if it's cold approaching someone in a way that is respectful, if it is putting yourself out there and telling a story or telling a joke, chase it, do it. We get better with reps. Our brain is constantly learning. And so if you put your mind in a state where you think, okay, I don't have to be perfect at something, I just need to keep doing it and then I'll get better, you become unstoppable. That is exactly what I think with YouTube. If you risk nothing, you will get nothing. And remember, give yourself grace throughout this process, because this wolf over here does not need any more hate. It does not need anyone telling it why it's not worthy or why it's not good enough. This wolf knows that that is not the key to a good life. That is not a key to a dream life. And so in this stage of chasing resistance and allowing yourself to be put out there, release control. Again, go back to that place of peace where the universe gives you everything that you want. Social anxiety can actually stem a lot from a desire to control, because you're trying to know exactly what people think about you. You want to know the outcome. It's a very egoic place. And trust me, I know that. When my social anxiety was the worst, I felt like I needed to control everything, because you're trying to control the way people perceive you. You're trying to control the way people respond to you. And if you were to release that, if you were to let that go, the social anxiety would no longer be there, because you're coming from a place of authenticity. You're allowing yourself to just exist. There is real freedom in allowing people to be wrong about you. The ego does not like this though. It wants people to perceive you in a specific way. And so feeling like you need to know the outcome, feeling like if the outcome isn't a specific way, then everything is going to be wrong, feeling so attached to a person or a situation or needing people to perceive you in a certain way, all of that feeds to that social anxiety, because you're a human, you make mistakes. And when you are rigid and not in the flow of life, that is what causes that anxiety, because you're not acting out of a place of authenticity. You're trying to control too much. And you get there. The more you feed this wolf with all of the healing, all of the love, all of the validation it so desperately wants and needs from you, not from anyone else, from you, and allow this wolf to lead. Allow it to act based on your authenticity. Allow it to guide you into the spaces that scare you, but you know will propel you forward. That is it for today, my loves. If you enjoyed this video, please do let me know down below. I want to hear your story. I want to hear how it resonated. I love reading your comments, and yeah. Subscribe if you like the vibes. Join the tribe. We also have a newsletter that is sent out every Sunday that I love pouring my heart out into, and I read all of your responses. And mwah, I'm sending you so much light and love on this journey. So much healing for your scared wolf. And